Hello there and welcome to July and August Darlings and Duds video. I apologize that this is coming to you so far into September, but I had a couple of videos kind of leapfrog this one. One was the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. The other one was the Tarte Maneater After Dark palette. I just had to get that video up. And then last week, as some of you know, we had a very large fire burning the opposite corner of our town. We had friends, church members who had been evacuated. So it was just kind of one of those weeks where we were all on edge. Thankfully, I'm happy to report that we got the perfect amount of rain over the weekend, which we've not had in months. And it really helped the firefighters contain the fire, and all of our friends and church members have been able to go back home. So I appreciate all of you who were praying about that. So I finally feel like I am ready to sit down and talk about my top 10 darlings and bottom 5 duds for July and August. Just like usual, we're going to start off with 5 of the 10 darlings, then we'll talk about duds and finish with darlings. And I have also applied most of these to my face today. I did film a tutorial on this look as well as my hair. So stay tuned for videos on both of those. But let's get started with an eyeshadow palette. This is the LA Girl Sun-Kissed Glow palette. It is filled with 20 eyeshadows, 10 of which are matte. We have 9 really shimmery, almost metallic shades, and then one that's one of those matte with kind of little glitter flakes in there. That one's not my favorite, but everything else in here, I find these to be richly pigmented. And yes, this is definitely a warm toned brown palette. So if those aren't your shades, you're not gonna love this. But I feel like overall, this is a wonderful palette. If you do like those tones, it retails for $17.99, and Ulta many times will have a sale. But I feel like overall the quality, these do wear well throughout the day. I just think it is a great value for your money. So if you're looking for a brown palette with lots of different shimmer options, I would definitely give this one a try. Next, also from LA Girl, is this matte bronzer, and this is the shade combination called Sunset Glow. I have to say, I've been so impressed. When I got this, I could not stop using it. The formula of this is buttery and smooth, and even when you put your brush in, you're getting 0 powder kick-up. So that was the first thing that was really impressive to me. But I find these to be really easy to blend on the skin. Now, you do not need to swirl your brush in because they are quite pigmented, but I do love the overall tone of these two. I typically will kind of put my brush between the two and come up with a color more like that. You could certainly just dip into one or the other. And I do feel like you could use this as contour because it's not overtly warm and there's no shimmer. So at $10, you're getting a ton of product, and I feel like a really good formulation. Now, another bronzer that's not exactly inexpensive, but I have to say I am absolutely loving, and I keep reaching for every day. I have been using this as my contour. This is the Nars Bronzing Cream. This comes in 5 shades. I chose shade number 2, which says it's kind of the original Laguna shade. So if you're familiar with their powder bronzer in Laguna, this is supposed to be kind of that same equivalent shade, just in a cream formula. Now, one thing I will say about this, when I was choosing my shades in the store, I was swatching from the samples that they had out, and I felt like in looking at this one, it looked really nice and cool. And in fact, the shade description of this is light, medium, neutral undertone. However, when I got this home and I opened it, I thought I had gotten the wrong shade because it looked really warm and really orange. So I was really concerned. But then I applied it to my cheeks and I found that it was very neutral. So I just want to give you that little heads up in case you open up your jar and feel like it looks like a different color. Now, there is something that does happen with the lights in Sephora. It can actually oxidize the product. So that's a topic for another video. But shade number 2, I have just loved this. You can see what a nice cool tone it is. This melts into the skin. You'll see it when you watch the tutorial on this look. it just, with very little effort, you can just apply it, almost just tap it into the skin. I love to use the BK Beauty 107 brush, but this really is the most effortless cream bronzer to blend in, cream contour that I've used. And I do use this more as a contour because it is a cooler tone, but if you wanted more of a bronzing tone, you could choose one of the other shades. So at $38, it is a pretty pricey product, but I really have been grabbing for this almost every day since I bought it, and I truly feel like this is one of the best cream bronzers out there. Next product is another tubing mascara. As some of you might know, I have a really hard time with mascara on my lower lashes smudging. It doesn't matter if it's waterproof or not. The only type of mascara I found that works is a tubing mascara. Well, the ones that I love are pretty high end, and one of you told me to try the Maybelline Snap Scara waterproof version. I have, and I love it. This is a tubing mascara, and the waterproof version is the only version that I have tried. I do feel like there might be a difference in how they perform, but this one did not smudge on my lower lashes at all. I also used this in a quick kind of lazy day makeup tutorial. I used it on my upper lashes as well. It doesn't add as much volume and length on my upper lashes as the Superhero mascara does, but I love the shape of the wand. It really makes it easy to apply and not get everywhere. So a great drugstore option if you're looking for a tubing mascara, if you want to give one a try, see if this solves your smudging issues. This one retails for $6.99 at Target. Darling number 5 are these new Sigma Soft Focus Setting Powders. Sigma was so gracious to send me all 4 of these shades. And I was really intrigued because not only are these powders talc-free, but they have vitamin E and hyaluronic acid in them. They're said to help blur and mattify, but also nourish the skin throughout the day. So I started off using the second shade, which is Buttermilk, which I thought would probably work well. But I learned very quickly these do have a little bit of coverage qualities to them. They're not translucent, so keep that in mind. So when I first applied this, I thought, oh no, it added actual color to my skin. So what's good about that is if you are somebody who has medium to deep skin, there are 3 options for you, so you're not going to get that kind of white cast look on your skin. But for me, I have settled in nicely to the shade Vanilla Bean, and my favorite placement for this powder is actually under my eyes to set my concealer. Most of you know I have combination oily skin, so this looks really nice initially applied on the rest of my skin, but it doesn't keep me matte throughout the day. However, it really does help set the concealer and keeps it from getting dry and crackly through the day. So if you have struggled to find a good setting powder under your eyes, or if you have dry skin, but you just kind of have some areas that get a little shiny, I would definitely highly recommend checking these powders out. All right, let's take a break from some of my favorites, the darlings, and let's go down to the dud pile. All right, this first one, I was so excited for the release of this product because I love its companion foundation. It is the Sephora Best Skin Ever Concealer. Now, this concealer says that it contains algae extract and hyaluronic acid. It is said to be full coverage and that it evens out the appearance of skin without caking or drying. And it says it has up to 12 hours of hydration. I thought, fabulous. This is going to be great. It comes in 50 shades. From the get-go, even from swatching it on the back of my hand, I was immediately concerned. It did not feel hydrating whatsoever, and I didn't feel like it really even covered that well. But I thought, okay, we're going to try this on the under eye. This shade right here is 20 in. So I kind of wanted something not quite as yellow for under my eyes. So initially it does feel very lightweight. It blends in and dries pretty quickly. And then it sets and sinks in And I did not feel like, first of all, that it gave me full coverage. So I did have to go back and add a little bit. I also tried it with my under eye corrector, but within the time that it takes to set, I could already tell like my skin feels dry. And under the eyes, oh my goodness, I do have fine lines, and this really accentuated them. The longer I wore it, the worse it got. It did not add any extra hydration, so I was really disappointed. Now, it is well priced at $15. So if you're looking for a concealer to conceal spots around the face, I think this would be great. However, if you are mature skin and you have dry under eyes, I would not recommend this concealer. All right, this next stud, I hesitated to even talk about this product again because I did do a dedicated video on it, and whoa Nelly, there are some really gung-ho fans of this makeup, and you were almost like deeply offended that I didn't like it. And I did get lots and lots of harsh criticism. I had to block some people. I usually don't do that. So please let me just put a little disclaimer out here. If you love this makeup, I am thrilled to pieces for you. And I am not saying this is a bad makeup product. I'm not saying that it won't work for anybody. I'm just relaying my experience. So what is this product? You all are like, it's the Saint makeup. Now I'm going to focus this review on the foundation type products. The blush and the bronzer and the highlighter, I actually really enjoyed those. I've used them with my other foundations and I like them. I think they're fine. But the foundation products, they just did not sit well on my textured, large pored combination oily skin. Didn't last. I know several of you said, oh, it's because you didn't use their brushes. You used too much. You didn't get the right colors. And that just to me kind of further reiterated my other point of this makeup. It's supposed to be a simple beauty routine, a simple product to use. But as many of you have said who love it, you did say there is a large learning curve. You do need to use their brushes. So all in all, this was just not a win for me. But if it works for you, I am so happy for you. All right, let's move quickly on to the next stud, the NYX Glow Shots Liquid Eyeshadows. All right, what's so funny, I was watching another YouTuber, her name's Tati. She was doing a haul and she had bought several of these and she was so excited and she started swatching them and her reaction was almost exactly like mine. She was like, wait, and she's like swatching again and swatching again. These were just so disappointing because they lack pigmentation. So this is the red shade. Let me show you the green one. This one, I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun green look. And I put it on my lid and I'm like, okay. And what you're seeing on camera, I don't know if you can see the streaks. All you're seeing on camera is just the kind of glitter particles. So I've used these over and under eyeshadow and I just feel like these are not worth $10.50. I mean, look at that. I'm like, what did that even do? So if you're looking for liquid eyeshadows, I would say go for a Stila liquid eyeshadow. I know those are a little more pricey, but you're gonna get way more bang for your buck. These guys, I would definitely skip. The next product, another thing that got me from the first pictures that I saw of it, I was so excited, and they were a little hard to get your hands on at the beginning, but they are the Maybelline Shadow Blocks. So I finally ordered mine off Amazon. They are now available at Ulta. These come with 3 different eyeshadows. Now I love this concept. It really reminded me of the Kaja eyeshadow stacks. So these are a little bigger, obviously, than this, but when you open them up, you're gonna see it's a lot of plastic and this little tiny eyeshadow. So I found that a little perplexing to begin with, but also the quality of this packaging is horrible. Oh my goodness, like it's so lightweight. I don't even know how much this weighs, but it's not much. And I do not feel like this is going to hold up very long at all over continual use. Now, the shadow combination that I chose, it has a matte cream shade here in the top, and then this kind of shimmery shade here, and then a matte green. I thought, you know, I don't have a lot of green, evergreen shadows. This would be a great one to try. But from the first swatch, like especially even this one, I mean, you're digging in and you're not getting hardly any payoff. And when you put it on your eyes, it does not last all day, even with an eyeshadow primer. Like the mattes, at least in this one, patchy, patchy, powdery. I just was really, really disappointed. The green kind of gives you some decent pigmentation, but again, it kind of turns muddy and disappears throughout the day. Now, the final thing that just really put this right into the edge of the bottom pile for the duds is the fact that these 3 shadows retail for $13.50. And you can buy the entire Maybelline Nudes of New York palette for $13.99. I don't understand. I don't get it. And I feel like the quality of this palette, every shade in here pretty much I have used except for maybe this guy. I feel like these are really nice quality and I have no issues with wear time throughout the day. Of course, I always use a primer. I mean, 16 shadows versus 3, 50 cents more. I think the decision is clear. So sorry, Maybelline, I think they need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, if this were like $5, maybe, but again, the quality of the shadows, and I've heard it varies from block to block, but that also I think is troubling. I know Maybelline can make really good quality shadows, so just disappointing overall. And the last dud, I'm not gonna go into huge detail because I did already do a full video on it, but it is the Too Faced Better Than Chocolate palette. Now, as most of you know, I'm a huge Too Faced eyeshadow fan, and I love almost all of their main shadow palettes that they put out, but this one was just really disappointing. And when they said better than chocolate, I was relating it back to their original chocolate bar palette. And to me, I don't think this even comes close to comparing to that one. The shimmer shades, especially this bright purple, I mean, you dig your finger in, you get very little pigmentation, and then there's just an overwhelming amount of brown in here. Everything's gonna go back to brown, even though they gave you this kind of fun blue shade, this nice olive shade, which I actually like that, this purple, which I guess is more of a glitter topper. Everything's gonna have to be blended out in the crease with one of these many brown shades. So at $54, I feel like if you want brown eyeshadows, go for the LA Girl Sun-Kissed Glow palette. All right, now let's finish up with the good news. Let's get back to our final 5 darlings. We're gonna start off with 2 Urban Decay 24/7 lip pencils. These were new to me. I don't ever recall seeing these shades before, but Ulta was doing a 50% off sale. I think this was on National Lipstick Day. So I picked up the shade Hex and Nighthawk. And let me just say, these are some of the most beautiful colors, and I really don't feel like I have these colors in my collection. I haven't gone through and swatched all of them side by side, but this one right here is Hex. This is a beautiful, cool, it's kind of a burgundy plum, but it doesn't look bright. You know, a lot of times plum lip liners turn vibrant purple. This one does not. And then this one, Nighthawk, I just think it's a really nice mid-tone nude shade that is not overly warm. It's slightly warm, but it doesn't look like kind of those caramely praline colors. I feel like this still has some coolness, a little bit of pink. It's what I have on my lips today with another darling that I'm going to talk about. But I love the formulation of Urban Decay lip pencils. They are actually in my top 2 or 3 favorites, longest wearing, so highly recommend. The next lip products are also from Urban Decay, and they were so gracious to send me 3 shades of their new Vice Lip Bond Glossy Lipsticks. Oh, it's quite a lot of words to fit in there. Now, this packaging, the formulation is very similar to the Maybelline lip vinyls, and you know I love those. You do need to shake these for about 5 seconds before you apply, but I just really feel like this is such a nice formulation. You get full-on color pigmentation, you get that gloss. The gloss doesn't stay around all day, but the color is super long wearing. These will not bleed past your lip lines. So if you have a real hard time with lipsticks bleeding, you're going to love this type of formulation. Now this color is called Textum. This is the most neutral, and I'm not going to try all these on or swatch them. I'll link the video up here and in the description box where you can see me actually try all these on my lips. But this purple shade is called No Restraints. This one, oh my goodness, if you are looking for a wild, bright purple shade, this is it. But this red shade, I have to say, is my new favorite red lip color. I don't wear red lipstick very often, but if I do, I want a formulation like this that is going to set and stay, not bleed past the lip lines, and this is perfect. This particular shade is Unbreakable, and in that video you see it's just such a beautiful cherry red. Love it. The last thing I love about these, even though they are long wearing, they are not super drying on your lips. I don't feel like they're going to be super hydrating, but they don't dry out your lips like your typical liquid matte lipstick will. So definitely recommend. And they have some really unique shades that you can't find in the Maybelline vinyl inks. So definitely check those out. Next, we have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Oh my goodness, this has been so popular and talked about all over YouTube and apparently TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but this is probably the closest dupe that I have ever tried to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is a liquid highlighting product, but what I wasn't aware of until I was reading kind of the description on their website today, actually preparing for this video, is that it has skincare ingredients in it as well as makeup. So it's kind of a skincare makeup hybrid. It has squalane and hyaluronic acid, and it says that it's to give you a soft focus radiance. I think that's the perfect description. I feel like this is a little less glowy than the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but it does have a slight bit more coverage. Now that sounds a little strange with a liquid highlighter, doesn't it? But it comes in 8 shades. So I have the shade Fair Light, number 2, and then I also bought number 7, Deep Rich, and I used this in a Get Ready With Me video as my kind of liquid bronzer, and it was so pretty. So it does give glow to the skin, like there you can see it's blended in, but there's no shimmer, no glitter particles. But because it kind of has a little bit of coverage in there, it can kind of blur imperfections. You can use this all by itself, alone on your skin, to give your skin kind of a healthy glow and a slightly perfected look. You can mix it with your foundation. You can put it under foundation. You can apply it on top of your foundation. That is generally how I wear it, just in a few places because I'm a combination oily girl. But if you're looking for a really good highlighter for mature skin that is not going to emphasize texture and fine lines, but actually make your skin look healthier and glowy without being oily and greasy, definitely would recommend checking these out. And these retail for $14. Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter is like $44 or $45. So it's a great savings. All right, we're down to our final 2 products. And this next product was extra special because it came from one of my subscribers. She sent me a box of amazing goodies, skincare products, some makeup products, some cinnamon mints that are really hard to get here in the United States. So it was just such a wonderful, special box to open. Now, everything in there was really great. But one thing that stood out above everything else to me was this Catrice Power Plumping Gel Lipstick. Oh my goodness, not only is the packaging beautiful, but when I rolled up the lipstick and actually swatched it on my hand, I thought, oh, that is such a pretty nude, kind of peachy, pinky nude shade. And look at the shine on there. It is what I'm wearing right now. It has great color payoff, high shine, and it has a little bit of plumping qualities. It's not painful plumping, but you can feel just a little bit of almost just a refreshing kind of sense on your lips. You do have to purchase them directly from the Catrice website, but these are available in 9 shades. This particular shade is 020. I'm planning to get a few more because I am just so impressed with this formula. And the last product I have to share with you. This kind of went like, yes, I love it. Wait, maybe I don't. And then, oh no, this is great. What is that? It is a foundation. It is the Dior Forever Matte Foundation. Now, I was a little confused when I was seeing people talk about this foundation again like it was new. I thought, wait, I bought this foundation a little over a year ago and it was okay, but it was not new back then. Well, what I looked up and found out is that Dior reformulated the Matte Forever Foundation earlier this year. So I have the shade 2.5W. It is what I'm wearing today. What is unique about this foundation is that it is a super thin consistency. It says it's medium coverage, but I feel like I get pretty close to full coverage. It might not be completely full coverage, but it's pretty close. And even though it says it's matte, I feel like depending on how you prep your skin underneath determines the finish. When I've worn it with a very dewy sunscreen, I feel like the finish stays pretty glowy. However, when I use my Paula's Choice lightweight sunscreen for oily combination skin, I feel like it gives me more of the natural matte finish. I do still powder this foundation, but I do find it is very long wearing. It says it is transfer resistant, and I have to say I agree. I started testing out after several hours of wear. I took a tissue and just kind of blotted on my face to see if anything would come off, and I had no color whatsoever. Now, once the oils start to kind of work on this part of my skin, then it gets maybe a little tacky. I can just powder in those areas and it's fine. But I was surprised in reading the description of this foundation. It says that it visibly improves skin over time. It has 3 different really good ingredients. It has iris extract, which is supposed to help guard against oxidation. So if you've ever had a foundation that looks one color when you apply it and 3 hours later when your oils start to work through and it starts changing colors, yeah, that's not a good look. So there is iris extract in here to help prevent that. It also has rose extract, which is helped to refine skin texture. And then it has wild pansy extract, which is supposed to help maintain hydration. It comes in 42 shades, which is pretty amazing. It has SPF 15, and it's a combination of titanium dioxide and octisalate. I think that's how you say it. So it's a combination. I have not had any issues with irritation on my sensitive skin. Now, the only drawback I want to mention with this foundation is the 4th inactive ingredient is alcohol. So if you have super dry skin, I don't think you're, first of all, going to be shopping for a matte foundation, but if you have dry skin, let's just say dry skin, and you prefer a matte foundation, I think this can work for you, but just make sure you prep your skin with some really hydrating formulas underneath, hydrating sunscreen, etc. And I think it could actually work, but it's long wearing overall. I do feel like it looks beautiful. It feels absolutely weightless on the skin. And if you tune in for the makeup tutorial that will be coming up next week, you will see this foundation being applied and you'll just see how very little product really spreads and covers well. All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Darlings and Duds. I hope that you enjoyed it. As always, all of the products will be listed and linked in the description box below. Also, I will have links once the videos are up of my hair tutorial and the makeup tutorial of what I'm wearing today and the other videos that I discussed as we went along. Thank you, as always, so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.